Salut tout le monde, c'est Tinker, on se retrouve pour la suite de la famille Finch. Donc on avait fini le dernier épisode sur Sam Finch. Donc on avait fait tout le tour de la chambre, il n'y avait rien de plus. Ouh. Hop, ah bah j'ai eu un lag, ok. Ok, bon on poursuit l'aventure, on se souvient de cette histoire de cerf. Hop, juste un tout petit changement, tac. Hop là, c'est bon. Allez, on continue. Alors, je sais pas ce qu'on va trouver, je sais plus du tout ce qu'on va trouver.
My mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Ma mère et Edie sont devenus plus proches. Les deux avaient perdu. Encore une chambre ici. Oh. Oh non. Il y a un petit bébé. Grégory. « 76-77. Voilà. On va faire le tour. Là, il y a Dawn, mais il n'y a rien. Tout son lit est vide. Et là, nous avons Gus. Ok, donc là, dans cette chambre, on va avoir, je pense, deux histoires. Gus. Et ensuite, il y a l'étage. Ok, bon, on va commencer avec celle du petit Grégory. Je sens qu'elle va être horrible, celle-là.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Ok, je dirige la main. Ok, donc là il y a Grégory.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What is wrong?
Ok, assez spécial quand même pour bouger la grenouille là. Hop, on va essayer d'avoir un canard. Oui. Alors j'ai vu qu'on pouvait décrocher les lettres.
You reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw. It sure made him happy.
Allez, décroche-toi. Tellement chelou. Je sais même pas ce que je fais. Ah, il y en a encore là-haut. Ok. Je vais essayer de remonter.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. Hey, there's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Mais c'est horrible. Voilà pourquoi faut pas laisser ses enfants seuls dans la baignoire. Même avec un fond d'eau, c'est vraiment... C'est horrible. Oh là là. Allez, le deuxième, Gus.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Oh là, j'ai peut-être été trop vite. Pas eu le temps de lire.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Yoo-hoo!
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Alors, il faut qu'il y en ait encore du texte. Non. Dans les gens. Ok, maintenant. Ah, là.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Ah bah sympa.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Oula, oula, oula.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Ok.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
C'est peut-être les deux histoires les plus courtes là de Gregory et Gus. Voilà. Ah, un mur d'escalade. Sympa un mur d'escalade dans la
My mom
chambre.
moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Ok, donc là on a les affaires de Don.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Bah ouais, tu m'étonnes. Youhou! Bon, tout ça pour rien, mais c'était juste pour le trip. Hop là, on remonte. Rappelons-le, normalement, on joue une jeune fille qui est enceinte. Voilà ce qu'on lui fait faire quand même, hein. Donc la Bible, on a regardé là.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ok. Ok.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Hop,
When my
c'est
dad
parti.
died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
Donc chaque enfant a sa jardinière. Milton c'est celui qui a disparu. Edith c'est nous. Dom c'est la maman. Il y en a aussi Lewis.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Donc apparemment c'est la salle de classe. Ok. Lewis Edith.
But it didn't last.
Ok, allez on continue. Je regarde bien tout pour rien perdre.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Donc Milton. Milton c'est celui qui a disparu. C'est ça.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
On va faire le tour. Et ça grimpe encore, hein. Au moins la maison on la voyait de loin. Alors, la fenêtre. Un grand tableau qui a l'air de représenter une porte.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Là on a une maquette. Allez, on va monter. Mais c'est joli comme observatoire.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh pardon. Donc ça c'est la porte qui est en bas. Ok.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Donc là il nous en resterait 3. Eddie, Dawn et Lewis.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Donc là, on va faire l'histoire de Lewis à la conserve.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Mais non, je veux pas sortir, mais j'ai pas bougé. Je me suis juste retournée. N'importe quoi. Donc là, on a une porte sûrement pour partir après. Bon, on va d'abord prendre l'histoire de Lewis. Je regarde un peu.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Ah bah, comme le reste de la famille, hein. Allez, l'histoire de Lewis.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Ok. Je prends le poisson.
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Oula.
wander.
Ok. Donc,
I
de
asked
la
him to
souris,
describe it.
je fais le poisson. Et avec le clavier, je fais le petit bonhomme. Ok.
He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Oh, j'ai oublié le poisson.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Oh là, ça fait.
I worried about him then,
Ok.
daydreaming at the cannery.
Il va finir par se couper une main ou
I
un
spoke
truc.
with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Oh, ça prend plus d'ampleur.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Le chien.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Oula. Regarde ce que tu fais, regarde ce que tu fais.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Oula, oula, oula. Oula.
St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Ouais, mais là, carrément.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Allez, on va faire une reine.
beautiful prince.
Ah bah non, bah, ça sera un beau prince. Voilà.
The prince was on his own quest for
Oh, j'ai pas doublé la tête. Allez,
sinister
faire ça.
serpents. He followed the sound of his silver harp.
Allez, on va faire la harpe. Tellement bien fait.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh là, on voit plus rien là.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him. that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ça doit être le casier de Lewis, ça.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Il a l'air tellement triste.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His prince waiting, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Vous l'avez vu? Regardez. Oh là là là, c'est bon, c'est horrible.
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Oh mon Dieu. Mon Dieu, mon Dieu. C'est quand même horrible. Hein. Oh, j'en ai des frissons. Et c'est sur l'histoire de Lewis qu'on va s'arrêter sur cette vidéo qui du coup est un peu plus longue que les autres. Je pense qu'à la prochaine vidéo on aura peut-être fini, on va voir ça. Normalement oui, normalement je pense qu'on l'aura fini. Il nous reste 2 histoires si j'ai rien loupé. En espérant ne rien avoir loupé. Donc voilà, on s'arrête sur l'histoire de Lewis qui est assez prenante. Et comme toutes les autres, horrible, hein, sur le Gregory, Gus, Lewis, Milton, mon Dieu, quoi, mais cette famille, c'est malheureux, c'est malheureux pour eux. Donc si vous avez aimé la vidéo, n'hésitez pas à laisser un pouce bleu, laisser un petit commentaire, ça fera toujours plaisir. Vous pouvez aussi vous abonner et activer la cloche pour recevoir les notifications lorsque je sors une nouvelle vidéo. C'était Tinker, je vous dis à bientôt. Ciao!